Your Bible app sent a 73-day streak notification. You skipped it. Your gym app sent a 73-day streak notification. You celebrated. Something about that should bother you more than it does. You kept the streak at the gym. You broke it with God. Alarm at 5 feet, hit the flow with purpose. Pre-workout mix before I question what my worth is. Drive to the gym in silence, that could've been a prayer, but the playlist hit and I forgot you were there. Quiet time at 7, lasting maybe 4 minutes flat. Phone buzz, I checked it, told myself I'd circle back. Circle back, turn into never, never turn to night. Night turn into God, I need you when the weights got tight. Third rep, fourth rep, something in me broke open. Started talking to the ceiling like a man who finally spoken. Confessing things I skipped in the devotional this morning. I pray harder under iron than I ever do in the morning. And that convicted me, actually convicted me. Not church guilty, the real kind. The kind that sits quiet in your chest when you realize God's been waiting since breakfast.
Why is it easier to cry out
when my body's in the way?
Why do I need to be exhausted
before I communicate?
Why do I show up for the rep
but not the room? Why does God feel closest when I'm pushed to the edge of my limit too? I need pressure to pray, that should scare me a little. I'm praying louder at the gym than I pray on my knees. More honest with the barbell than I am when I read. More present in the grind than I am in the word. Pouring out my soul to God, but only when it hurts.
Louder at the gym,
quieter at home,
closer to the throne
when I can't lift it alone.
I don't know
if that's broken or if that's just me, but God, you still showed up even there, even free. I was on the floor last set, couldn't finish. Body done pride cracked, everything diminished. And in that 3-second gap between the reps, something settled in my chest that wasn't adrenaline yet. Not loud, not a vision, not a word on the wall. Just presence like someone had been there through it all. Not just the workout, through the whole thing. Apparently, the 4-minute devotionals I kept abandoning. God doesn't only meet you where you're strong. He was in the Bible app notification, I left stranded. He was in the car ride silence I feel before it landed. Waiting in the room, I keep avoiding patient, not angry. I'll meet you in the rack, but I've been in the quiet, come find me. Real talk, no performance. I avoid the quiet because the quiet asks questions. The gym is loud enough to drown the ones I'm not answering. What are you running from? What do you actually need? Why is surrender easier when your body's broken than when you're free? Silence is where God gets specific. That's why you keep the music on. I built a discipline around everything except the thing. 2 hours of cardio for 10 minutes of praying stings. And I know that's backwards, that's the confession. The devotional I skipped was trying to start the session. I don't need a new program, I need to close the door. I need to stay in the room, I need it quiet enough to hear. Yeah. I'm praying louder at the gym, but I'm changing what that means.
Not less honest in the out,
more honest in between.
more present in the moment,
more willing to be still.
God meets me in the gym,
but he lives in the quiet and I wanna be there too. Louder at the gym, but learning the room deserve that same honesty.
the same broken,
Sweating, asking man, in the word, not just the rap.
same surrender, different location.
Matthew 6:6 wasn't a rule, it was an invitation.
Close the door, stay in it.
The weight in there is heavier, and it's the one that actually changes you. Matthew 6:6 says, go into your room,
Close the door,
close the door, pray to your Father who is unseen.
not the Father you summon,
When the weight gets too heavy,
not the emergency dial at rep 10.
the Father who's been sitting in that room.
Since before your pre-workout kicked in,
The room isn't boring, the room isn't empty.
you just haven't stayed long enough.
To find out who's in there waiting.
Close the door, stay in the room,
The weight in there is heavier,
and it's the one that actually changes you.
Nobody saw what it cost you to get here. Not the drive over, not the parking lot. Not the 7 minutes you sat in the car, deciding whether any of this was worth it. You got out anyway. That was the rep nobody counted. The hardest rep you did today wasn't in the gym, it was getting out of the car. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Woke up and the weight wasn't on the bar. It was in the chest, in the eyes, behind the bathroom mirror scar of a year that took more than it gave and left you standing here, trying to remember why discipline still matters when you're running on fear. Yeah. Bag packed the night before like that was gonna guarantee that morning you would feel with eating you believe. But morning you just stared at the ceiling doing the math. There's one more session gonna change the aftermath. Some days the only reason you go is because last night you packed the bag. Honor that. And the answer wasn't certain, wasn't clear, but you put the shoes on anyway. Drove over here, walked through the door with nothing left to prove, and get the only thing you had, just the showing up to move. Nobody claps for the almost didn't go. Nobody posts about the Tuesday with no motivation, no flow. Nobody gives credit for the session done on empty, when the mindset stay in bed and the body said not yet, not gently. The rep nobody saw cost more than the one everybody watched, but God saw the parking lot, God saw the 7 minutes, God saw the showing up, when showing up was everything you had left. And he said that counts more than you know. You showed up. That was the hardest rep you got here that deserves more credit than you get. You laced the shoes when everything and you said stay. Showing up half broken and still showing up. Don't let anyone take that away. What? Deuteronomy said he goes before you, already in the room, already in the parking lot, already in the Tuesday gloom. He didn't wait for you to feel ready or feel strong. He was there before you got there. You were never going alone. Yeah, I know the session where you couldn't hit your numbers. I know the one where you just went through it under thunder. Of everything outside the gym that had your mind divided. The relationship, the money stress, the future undecided. You train through things the barbell will never know about. That's a different kind of strength and you didn't post about it. Didn't caption it, just did the work quietly. Went home, didn't mention it. That version of you the one nobody documented. That's the version God saw most clearly, most attended. He goes before you, Deuteronomy said it plain. Not just before the good days, before the days of strain, before the Tuesday parking lot, before the almost quit. He was already in the room before you walked into it. And the showing up even hollow, even tired, even just emotion. Wasn't act the trust that didn't need you for devotion. Just the feet moving, just the door, just the presence. He met you in the mechanical, this grace in his essence.
I wanna say something to the person
who went today
and felt absolutely nothing.
No motivation rush,
no breaker moment,
no sense that it mattered or that God was in the set. Just the reps,
just the time, just the go.
From joyless showing up to still showing up. God doesn't only count the sessions that felt like worship. You're not failing at this. You're not spiritually behind because it didn't feel like anything. Some of the most faithful things ever done felt like nothing in the moment they were happening. The disciples didn't know Saturday was the middle of the story. They just stayed confused and grieving and staying. You staying, even when it cost everything and returns nothing visible. That is its own kind of faith, and he sees it. He's been in the room the whole time,
counting every rep you almost didn't do.
Yeah,
you showed up,
and God was already there.
You got here,
yeah. And he been waiting in the air of the parking lot, the bag, the almost
stayed in bed.
He counts the raps you didn't post. Those are the ones that build what lasts instead. You showed up half broken.
He called that holding up.
You showed up running empty.
He said that still counts as trust.
Yeah, you showed up for the session when the session had no feeling. And somewhere in the faithfulness, something started healing. Now fixed, not finished.
Moving, still moving, and the moving even slow.
Even quiet, even just today is enough. Yeah. We made it to the parking lot. It's further than yesterday. Engine off, bag in the backseat. Entrance 40 feet away. And you've been staring at it for 4 minutes, like it owes you an explanation. This one's for those 4 minutes you drove here that counts, even if you don't go in yet. Yeah, you drove here that counts, even if you don't go in yet. Pulled in at 7:43, killed the engine sat. Looked at the entrance, looked at the phone, looked back. People walking in and out like it cost them nothing. And you're in the car doing math on whether you have something. Left to give the day, left to push, left to care about. The pre-workouts in the bag, didn't even take it out. Just sitting with the seatbelt still across your chest, like leaving it all means you haven't failed the test. The seatbelt still on in the parking lot. That's a feeling nobody talks about, but everybody knows, because it's not about the workout, not really. It's the thing underneath that made the drive feel hilly when the road was flat. The weight that isn't iron, the kind you carry in before the training even starts the timing. And you can't program that, can't track it in an app, can't post about the parking lot and get the claps. So you sit and the minutes pass, and the entrance doesn't move, and you're trying to remember what you came here to prove. Nobody writes songs about the parking lot. Everyone skips to the rep, the PR, the result they got. But this is where it actually happens, it's in between. This is the moment that determines everything. The parking lot is where the real decision gets made, not at the bar. Isaiah said a bruised reed, he will not break, not fix it immediately, not perform or it's too late. Just I see what's bent and I'm not here to snap it. I'm here in the parking lot, right here in the static, sitting in the parking lot. 4 minutes, maybe 5, not failing, not quitting, just trying to feel alive. Enough to walk through a door that feels heavier than it is. The parking lot is part of the process, God's already in it. Isaiah said he won't break what's already bending. He's not outside waiting for you to arrive, pretending that everything is fine and you're ready and you're strong. He's in the car with you, he's been here all along. Minute 6, still sitting, something shifted slightly. Not motivation, something quieter, more tightly. Wound inside the chest began to loosen just a degree, like the pressure changed, like something sat down next to me. God doesn't wait for you at the squat rack, he meets you in the parking lot. Not a voice, not a feeling I could put a name to yet, just less alone than I was at minute 4. No threat, no, you should be inside by now. You're wasting time, just I see the bent thing. I'm not here to demand a climb, and that was the thing, they're not demanding. They're sitting in the same stuck place without expanding into disappointment or expectation or a speech, just presence, just I know. And you're still within my reach, something about that move the hand toward the door. Not fixed, not sure, not certain what I'm doing this for, but left alone is sometimes less alone is the whole thing that turns 4 minutes of sitting into the walk. You need to begin. I need to say this plainly for the person in minute 7. You are not weak for being in the parking lot. You are not behind, you are not failing the program. You are not less faithful than the person who walked in at minute 1. Some days getting to the parking lot is the whole victory, let it be enough. The bruised reed, Isaiah didn't say the repaired reed, the strong reed, the healed reed. He said bruised and still held, and not broken by the one who could break anything and chose not to. That's you in the car, bruised, still held, not broken. And the door will be there in minute 8 and in minute 9. And if today the parking lot is as far as you get, you still drove here, you still showed up to the place, and he was already in the lot when you pulled in. Sitting in the parking lot, and God is sitting too, not rushing, not demanding, just present in the view of a door that felt impossible at minute 1 or 4. By minute 8, something in me knew I could do one more. Isaiah said he won't break what's bent, he holds it instead. So I took the seatbelt off, picked up the bag and said, I don't know what this session is, I don't know how I'll feel, but I'm going in and going in. Today is what is real, not fixed, not full, but in, and that's enough. You slept 8 hours, you woke up tired. Not body tired, the other kind. The kind that wellness content doesn't have a name for. The kind that a good night's sleep, a rest day, a new program, a better morning routine, none of it touches. There's a tired that sleep doesn't reach. That's the one nobody's talking about. Yeah. 8 hours log, recovery score high. Woke up feeling like I hadn't closed my eyes. Not the muscle tired, that one I know how to fix. This is somewhere deeper, harder to unmix. From the daily, from the showing up, from the going again. From carrying the weight of being the strong one for your friends. From the years of being consistent, being present, being there. And nobody asking once if you're okay under there. You've been strong for everyone else so long, you forgot you're allowed to need something. The gym helps, it really does, gets me out of my own head. But there's a version of this tide that follows me to bed. Through the workout and the protein and the cold shower after, sitting in my chest beneath the discipline and the laughter. Not depression, not a crisis I can point to on a map. Just worn through like a fabric that's been stretched and never snapped, but can't stretch anymore, and nobody has a program for that. That's the part the wellness content never gets exactly at.
What do you do with the time?
The rest days don't resolve,
That vacation doesn't touch,
and productivity won't solve. When the body's doing fine and the calendar looks managed, but something underneath it all is quietly damaged. You can optimize everything and still feel like something's running out. Matthew 11:28 said, come to me all who are weary. Not fix yourself first and then approach me clearly. Not get your sleep score up and then we'll talk. Just come as the tired thing you are. Come walk.
that kind of tired, the one sleep doesn't fix.
That kind of weighted too deep
For any tricks,
that kind of worn out that the content never names. Jesus said come weary, he didn't say come when the tired goes away. Matthew said
he give the rest that rest can't give.
not 8 hours,
The kind that teaches you to live.
inside the weight instead of just surviving it. That kind of tired needs a different kind of gift. I was between sets, just sitting on the bench, not catching breath, just sitting feeling the whole length of something I've been carrying without naming it all year. And something in the gym went quiet and something felt near. God doesn't only show up when you have energy, for him he shows up when you have nothing. Not a solution, not a voice that mapped it out, just a specific feeling of not being alone in the tired. Like someone sat down next to the worn through thing I was, and didn't try to fix it, just acknowledged it. Because Matthew 11:28, he said weary and burdened, not weary and recovering, not tired, but working through a weary full stop burden. Come anyway. He wasn't describing a temporary state, he was describing the day. And the rest he offers isn't on a sleep tracker. It's not a recovery score, a rest day on the calendar. It's the kind that comes from being known inside the worn out place. From being seen specifically, not generally, in the tired space. Okay, the thing I don't say out loud, I'm tired of being the version of myself that handles it. The one who shows up, the one who figures it out, the one whose 5 a.m. consistency everybody admires, while the thing underneath keeps running out of fire. I've been performing okay for so long that I lost track of what actually okay feels like. And I don't need a diagnosis, I don't need a crisis label, I just need to sit at the table and say
I'm that kind of tired.
the kind that 8 hours doesn't help, the kind that one more PR doesn't reach, the kind that needs something I can't manufacture or achieve. Jesus, that's the word, not is a solution sentence, as a direction, as the only honest reference. Come to me, not come when you've recovered, come now. Come tired, come worn, come not knowing how.
That kind of tired, I'm bringing it to you.
Not fixed, not better, not performing like I usually do.
That kind of weighted, laying it right here.
You said come weary, so I came exactly like this, exactly here. Matthew
Said you give the rest that rest can't give.
not 8 hours, the kind that changes how I live. Inside the tide instead of running from its weight. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm bringing it today.
Not resolved, not better.
But named and held, and that's somewhere. The city's asleep. No notifications, no audience, no one to perform for. Just the alarm, the dark, and the decision in that gap between the warmth of the bed and the cold of the floor. You find out who you actually are. 5 a.m. doesn't lie, that's why most people never meet it. Yeah. Nobody's watching when the alarm goes off at 4:58. No comment section, no one keeping score of faith. Just you in the mirror and the person in between, the public version and the private one that no one's ever seen. Lace the shoes in silence, step outside before the light. Street lamp still on amber from the leftover night. No one to impress, no post to validate the rep. Just the breath, the pavement, the decision and the step. The 5 a.m. version of you, that's the one God actually gets to visit. You ever notice how the 5 a.m. version is just different? Less filter, less perform, more honest and more distant from the person that the daytime asks you to maintain. More willing to be real about the doubt than about the strain. He sees what didn't make the caption. He sees the Tuesday you almost didn't go. He sees the parking lot where you sat for 7 minutes, asking if any of this is worth it, if you even know. Nobody clapped for this. Nobody saw the Tuesday. Nobody liked the post you never made about the night you almost quit and stayed. The reps nobody saw, God counted everyone. Some days that should be enough, but some days it isn't. That's the tension you carry at 5 a.m. when the discipline costs more than the reward feels. This the version nobody sees. The 5 a.m. me, broken in before the world decides who I'ma be. No crowd, no clap, no witness to the grind. Just God in the dark and whatever's left inside. Nobody sees. Still showing up though, still tying the laces when the motivation long gone. Still trusting the process when the process feels like grief. Still here at 5 a.m. and that alone is my belief. I thought the secret work was only about discipline, building something slow that only showed up in the end. But somewhere on a Wednesday, somewhere between the sets, something said, I don't just see the finish, I see the process. Yeah, I see you on the days you came and felt nothing at all. I see you going through the motions when the worship didn't call. I see the mechanical obedience, the joyless early morning. I see you showing up for me before you feel me. That's faith, not failing. And I sat with that differently, because I thought the days I felt nothing didn't count. The great Tuesday where nothing moved and nothing sang. I thought that was the drought, but he said that was the offering. Not the highlight, not the breakthrough session. The great Tuesday where you got up anyway. That was the purest form of trust I've seen. Some mornings I get up and I don't feel chosen. I feel tired, I feel average. Like the gap between who I'm trying to become and who I actually am is too wide for 5 a.m. to close. Some days, the discipline is the only prayer I have left. And I wonder if God gets tired of me showing up halfway, half present, half believing, going through the motion, but losing the meaning somewhere between the alarm and the door. But here's what keeps me lacing up when the feeling's gone. He didn't say perform for me, he said come. He didn't say impress me, he said I see. Matthew 6:4, your Father who sees in secret, not the Father who watches your highlights. The Father who was there before the city woke up. That Father, that witness, that's the reason. This the version nobody sees. The 5 a.m. me, but God sees it. God names it, God calls it worthy. No crowd, no clap, no witness but the one who made me. One witness who sees everything is more than enough to sustain me. This the version nobody sees. Still showing up though, not because it feels like something, because I know who I owe. Still trusting the secret work will surface in its time. Still believing the unseen reps are building something fine. It's the version nobody sees. God sees. It's the whole thing. City's starting to wake up now. Notifications coming in. The performance version of you is about to be required. But for these last few seconds of the dark, you were just you. Tired, trying, showing up. And the Father who sees what's done in secret, he was here for all of it. Every rep, every great Tuesday, every time you almost didn't go and win anyway. He doesn't need your highlight. He was already here for the whole thing. The 5 a.m. you, unfiltered, unseen, still showing up. That's the one God built his love. You've been performing the faith for a long time. The right words in the right rooms. The verse caption, a Sunday face. The version of you that makes other people comfortable with how you're doing. And you're tired, not a God of the audience. You're not tired of your faith, you're tired of performing it. Small group on Tuesday said the right thing at the right time. Everybody nodded, moved on. Nobody saw the inside. The version I presented was adjacent to the truth, close enough to pass but not the actual proof of what it's actually like when nobody's in the room, when the phone's face down and the worship isn't on in the afternoon. Just sits there asking questions I don't have the answers to, and the faith that looks so solid in the group, what happened to the faith you perform for others and the faith you live alone, are not always the same faith. I built the fluency in how a thriving person sounds, learn the language of the testimony, learn the rounds of how to frame the hard things so it ends with what God did. But somewhere in the framing I forgot to just be real, and the real thing, the actual struggle and question is still here thing. That one doesn't get denied and that one clears the room. So you keep the performance polished, keep the caption clean, and God watches all of it from behind the whole scene.
What if nobody's watching and you still brought the full thing?
Not the highlight version, the actual unedited everything.
What if the room was empty
and the audience was just him? Would the faith look different? Would you let the real thing in? God doesn't need the performance, he's been waiting for the person underneath it. Matthew 6:6 said, close the door, now clean yourself up and then come. Now get the testimony shape before you knock.
Close the door,
bring the unpolished thing, come as is.
He doesn't need an audience to show up for you.
He was there before the caption, before the curated view. He was there in the Tuesday when you said the right thing wrong. He showed up in the empty room, he's been there all along. No crowd required, no witness but the one. No performance necessary, no approval to be won. Matthew said, go into your room and close the door. God doesn't need an audience, he never did. That's what he's for. I was alone in the gym on a Thursday, nobody there, just me in the bar in the honest state of where I actually was, which was not the version I've been showing. Not broken exactly, just unpolished, actually knowing that I've been performing. Consistency more than living it, that the public discipline and the private discipline didn't fit together as cleanly as the content made it seem. And I just stopped mid-set and said the real thing. I told God the truth when nobody watching. That was the most honest rep I've done all year. Not a prayer I say out loud in any group, not a testimony, just the actual truth. And something in the room received it without flinching. No disappointment, no I expected more, no wincing. Just I know I've been here the whole time you were performing. I was here when the caption didn't match the morning. I don't need the audience version, I never did. I need the room closed, door shut, actual you to live. The thing I haven't said to almost anyone, I don't know if the faith I perform is the faith I actually have. I know the language, I know the framework. I know how to make the struggle sound like it's leading somewhere. I got so good at sounding like I'm okay that I forgot to check if I actually was. And I'm not saying I don't believe, I'm saying I've been hiding the believing behind the performance of the believing, and they've started to feel different. And I don't know how to close that gap publicly, but I can close the door. I can bring the unedited thing to the one who was never in the audience to begin with, who's been in the room the whole time, waiting for me to stop the show and just talk.
No caption,
No framing, no testimony arc.
just here's where
I actually am.
just I need you.
To see the real version, just close the door and stay.
He doesn't need an audience to show up for you.
He already saw the Tuesday, already knew.
Already in the room before you clean the story up.
God shows up for the unedited version.
That's the one he came for.
No crowd required,
No witness,
but the one who made me.
no performance necessary.
Nothing left to prove, nothing to pay me.
Close the door,
Bring the real thing.
lay it down.
He was never in the audience, he was always in the room.
Not performing anymore.
Just present, just here, with the door closed. You're not failing, you're trying, and I know those feel the same from inside. And the trying isn't producing what the trying is supposed to produce, but they're not the same. And somebody needs to say that out loud. Trying and failing are not the same thing. Your soul knows the difference even when you don't. Yeah. Showed up to the workout feeling less than half myself. Did the reps on empty, put the feelings on the shelf. Told myself the motion counts, even when the heart's not in it. Finished every set, but couldn't tell you what was in it. Devotional this morning lasted maybe 6 whole minutes. Read the words, close the app, couldn't find myself within it. Prayed something that sounded more like static than a sentence, and the silence on the other side felt longer than I mentioned. Some days the prayer sounds like static, God hears it anyway. And I wanted to be further, wanted to have more to show. For the months of trying, for the discipline, for the slow accumulation of the mornings and the choices in the grind. But the soul is somewhere lagging and the body left it behind. Romans 8:26 said the spirit intercedes when we don't know what to pray, when we can't find the words we need. Which means God already built a bridge for exactly this. The wordless, the exhausted, the trying but missing.
What do you do when trying is the best you've got today?
When the full version of yourself
It's somewhere far away,
and all that's here is the fraction.
showing up with what remains.
Is the fraction still enough, or does God only count the days when you showed up whole?
God doesn't only count the days.
You showed up whole, He counts the fractional ones too. Romans says the Spirit fills the gap we leave with groaning, which means the gap between where I am and where I'm going is already covered, already held, already seen. The trying is enough, that's what that verse has always meant.
Your soul is trying,
That's enough for today. Not perfect, not complete,
not performing every way,
just trying, just here.
just not giving up yet.
God meets the trying, that's the part nobody told you to expect. Yeah. Romans said the Spirit helps us in our weakness. Not after we recover, not once we find completeness in the weakness, present tense right now. Your soul is trying, that's enough. Here's how. You bring the fraction, He brings the rest. I was sitting with a friend who said I don't feel anything. Not numb exactly, just the face stop meaning. Still going through the motions, church to reading all the things, but inside just the trying without the weight it brings. And I didn't have a sermon, didn't have a fix to give. Just Romans 8, the Spirit in the gaps, the way we live. When living is just trying and the trying is no feeling. The Spirit in the says, the ceiling isn't the ceiling. When the faith stops feeling like fate, the Spirit is still working in the gap. And something in me knew it from the inside too. The sessions where the worship didn't land and the quiet time fell through, where the discipline stayed intact but the connection felt severed, and the trying felt like failing, just with better structured effort. But the Spirit doesn't wait for me to feel it right. Doesn't need the emotion to be present in the night when I'm doing the motions without the meaning underneath. The trying is the offering, the Spirit is the rest beneath. I wanna say something I don't usually say. I have days where the soul is so tired of trying that the trying itself feels like another performance, another thing to do correctly, another box that says still faithful, still showing up, still here. Some days trying feels like one more thing to get right. God knows the difference between performing and persisting, and God knows the difference. He can read the trying, that's just muscle memory, from the trying that costs something real. And even the muscle memory trying, He holds it. Romans 8 didn't put a quality threshold on the groaning. It said, and we don't know what to pray, the Spirit intercedes. Not when you pray correctly. When you don't know how, that's where He steps in. Right there in the not knowing, right there in the tide trying.
Your soul is trying,
That's not nothing. That's not the floor or what's acceptable. That's the whole offering.
soul is trying,
And God receives the try.
not waiting for the breakthrough.
Not wait until you're right. Just trying counts the fraction, counts the showing up half there.
Half your soul showing up.
It's still your soul, God knows how to meet it there. Romans said the Spirit intercedes in wordless groans,
Which means God already covered.
but you couldn't stay alone. The trying without feeling, the discipline without the fire.
Your soul is trying,
Bring it, that's enough, that's the entire bring He asked for,
not perfection,
not performance.
not the whole version on the best day.
The trying,
Just the trying.
it's always been enough. You drove to church, you don't remember the drive. You read the verse, You don't remember the verse, you did the workout, said the prayer, opened the Bible, closed the Bible. And somewhere between the alarm and midnight, you were just running, but nobody was steering. You can do all the right things and be completely absent for all of them. Yeah. Drove to the gym on autopilot, same route, same time. Playlist on before I even registered the drive. Pulled into the parking lot, didn't remember leaving home. Muscle memory carried me, the mind was somewhere on its own. Did the warm-up, did the sets, hit the numbers on the sheet. Checked the boxes, drove back home, put the bag beneath the seat. Opened the Bible app, because the streak said one more day. Read the verse, already forgot it. Said something close to prayer. I did everything right today and I was barely there for any of it. This isn't doubt, it's different. Doubt at least there's heat in it. Yeah, pushing against something. This is just neutral, flat to gray you're going through. The faith on cruise control, the worship without you. Revelation said, I wish you were cold or hot, either one. Because lukewarm means you're moving, but you haven't really begun to be present in the thing your body keeps attending. The attendance is consistent, the presence it's been ending. Woo, woo. What do you do when the motions keep moving, but the meaning got left somewhere back in the routine? When the habit is intact, but the heart checked out quietly. Not rebelling, not quitting, just running on the machinery. The habit kept going after the heart stopped showing up. That's a slow drift nobody posts about. Revelation didn't condemn the lukewarm for being evil, for being present in the actions but absent in the people, for doing all the things without the thing inside the things. That's the specific category nobody really sings. Faith on autopilot, body in the seat, doing all the disciplines but running incomplete. Showing up to everything and present for nothing. The scariest version, the drifting, is when you don't even notice it happening. Revelation said, I wish you were either cold or hot. Not because lukewarm means you stopped, it means you forgot to actually be inside the life that you've been living. Faith on autopilot, present but not really giving. Wednesday rep for same weight, same rest, same sequence, and something interrupted, not dramatic, just a clearance of the static. I've been running underneath the motion like the autopilot disengaged for just a moment. And opening guy doesn't always interrupt the autopilot loudly. Sometimes he just introduces one moment of actual presence, not a vision. Just I notice the weight in my hands, notice the breath, notice the ceiling, notice where I stand inside this specific moment that I've been sleepwalking through. And something said I've been hearing all the ones you missed too. Not accusing now, you should have been present sooner. Just I was in the autopilot, driving the forgotten verse in the blur. I've been in every mechanical motion you move through without feeling. And I'm hearing this moment where the present started clearing. The autopilot wasn't absence, it was the foundation holding. While the part of me that feels things took a season for not knowing. And underneath the flat, the gray, the going through the motion, I was in the habit, keeping something alive I couldn't notice. The honest thing, I've been scared that the autopilot means I don't actually believe anymore. That if the feeling's gone this long, maybe the faith was always just the feeling. Maybe the habit is all that's left, and the habit is just inertia. What if the autopilot is the faith holding when the feelings can't? What if the habit is the trust, and I don't have a clean answer? But I think about how the body keeps breathing when the mind is somewhere else entirely. Nobody accuses the sleeping person of not wanting to be alive. The breath keeps going, the heart keeps its rhythm. Maybe the autopilot faith is the breath keeping something alive in the season when I can't consciously drive it. And the invitation isn't to feel ashamed of the mechanical. The invitation is to notice one moment, just one, and be actually there for it. Faith on autopilot, but I'm noticing now one moment of presence inside the routine, somehow showing up to one thing and actually being inside it. Autopilot kept the faith alive, now I'm learning to drive it. Revelation said, I wish you were hot or cold. Not because the lukewarm lost, because there's more to hold than the mechanical, more than the habit, more than the motion doing. There's the actual presence, the waking up, the choosing, not fixing the whole season in the day. Just one breath where I'm actually there, one verse I actually read, one drive where I noticed the road. Coming back all night, slowly, but coming back. But coming back. You've been waiting to show up until you have it more together, until the doubt is smaller until the discipline is cleaner, until the version of you walking through the door is worth the space it takes up. What if that's the wrong math entirely? You've been waiting to show up whole. What if half broken was the invitation all along? Showed up to the session running on about 40%. Mind on 3 things that happened, so still bent. From a conversation that didn't end the way it should have. From a week that took the thing I needed most and understood that I wasn't gonna feel ready, wasn't gonna feel strong, wasn't gonna show up with the version that belongs. And the highlight reel, the discipline together, got it figured one. Just showed up with the fractured version, 40% half done. I showed up at 40% and God said that's enough to work with. And something in me expected to be turned away, like the broken version didn't qualify for the space. Like I needed to come back when I had more to offer, when the rep count was higher and the doubt count was softer. But 2 Corinthians 12:9 says something I keep forgetting. My power is made perfect in weakness, not in the getting. You act together first, not in the cleaned up presentation. Perfect in weakness, that's the whole equation. What if the half broken showing up is specifically what God designed the grace for, not the strong version? That one doesn't need it as much. The fractured 40% version is exactly what the power is made for. Grace wasn't designed for the put together, it was designed for the half-broken version of you. Cause if his power was made perfect in weakness, then the weakness isn't the problem to fix before arriving. The weakness is the location where the power does its work. The broken isn't the barrier, it's the entry point. What if showing up half-broken is exactly right? What if the fractured version is the one that gets the light? What if God's been waiting not for whole but for the real? What if half-broken is the only version that can actually heal? 2 Corinthians said power in the weak place, not power after weakness, power in the weak space. So I'm bringing the 40%, the bent, the incomplete. What if showing up half-broken is exactly what he needs? I watched a guy at the gym fail a lift publicly. Bar came down, didn't finish, had to rack it quietly. And instead of the shame spiral I expected him to have, he just sat for a second, breathed, and then went back. The fail lift didn't disqualify him from the next attempt, neither does yours. And something about that reframed the whole thing for me. Failure at the rep doesn't mean you leave the room. You see, you breathe, you go back when you can. The broken doesn't end the session, it's part of the plan. And God's been watching every failed lift. I walked away from every session I skipped because the weakness felt too wrong to bring inside the space. Every prayer I didn't pray because the version doing the praying was too fractured to convey. And he didn't say come back when the bar goes up cleanly. He said my power is made perfect in the weakness specifically. The sitting after the failed lift, the breathing, the going back. That's not the absence of faith, that's the whole act. The real thing, the thing underneath the song. I spend a long time believing that God wants the strong version, that the broken version is an embarrassment to bring. The showing up at 40% is showing up insufficiently, and the solution was to wait until I had more to bring. I kept waiting to show up whole. Meanwhile, God kept waiting for me to just show up. And all that waiting, all that holding off until I was ready, what it actually was. Keeping the grace at a distance, keeping the power out of the exact place it was designed to work. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Paul didn't say I'll be strong so God can use me. He said I'll boast in the weakness, because the weakness is where the power lands. Not later, not after recovery, in the weakness, which means the 40% version showing up today. It's not the consolation prize for the session, it's the invitation for exactly what God said he does best. Showing up half broken, that's the right thing, not the floor or what's acceptable. That's what the grace brings. The power isn't waiting for the whole version to arrive. God does his best work in the version of you that barely made it inside. 2 Corinthians said perfect power in the weak space. So I'm done waiting for the strong version to take my place. The fractured 40%, the bent, the incomplete today is exactly what was needed, is exactly right. It's okay, not performing wholeness, not waiting for the feeling, not holding off until I have more to give. Just here, half broken, which is exactly where he said to come. Someone asked you how you're doing. You said fine. Not because it's fine, because what's actually happening doesn't have a word yet. It's not grief, not anxiety, not burnout exactly. It's something harder to define, and the not having a name for it makes it heavier somehow. Sometimes the hardest thing to carry is the thing you can't explain to anyone. Drove to the gym with something sitting in the passenger seat. Couldn't name it, couldn't shake it, just incomplete. Not a crisis, nothing I could point to on a map. Just the weight between the ribs that doesn't have a strap. Did the warm-up, did the sets, went through the whole session. The thing came with me into every rep in question. Not depression, been there, this isn't quite that. Not anxiety, it's quieter and heavier and flat. It's not the thing you have a name for, it's the one underneath that. Just something sitting, not leaving. Not loud enough to call an emergency, not light enough to be fine. The kind of thing you don't bring up at small group, because you spend 10 minutes trying to describe it and end up saying, I don't know, never mind. Romans 8:26 said the Spirit intercedes with wordless groans for the prayers we can't complete, which means God already made room for the unnamed. The thing without a category, the weight without a name. What do you do with the thing that doesn't have a diagnosis, that isn't on the list of feelings in the wellness app's prognosis, that isn't sad enough to call grief or loud enough to call fear? Just present, just something, just been sitting here. Not everything you feel has a name. That doesn't make it less real, and the not naming it doesn't mean it isn't there. The unnamed thing still weighs, something still needs somewhere. Romans said the Spirit already knows the wordless ones, already intercedes for the prayers that can't be done. I'm carrying something that doesn't have a name. Not broken enough to fix, not fine enough to claim. Somewhere in the middle of a feeling I can't frame. God receives the unnamed thing. You don't have to explain it to bring it. Romans said the Spirit groans for what we cannot say, which means the nameless weight is somewhere it can stay. Not in my chest forever, not a permanent address. I'm handing God the thing I can't describe, He knows the rest. Between the second and the third set, something moved. Not the weight on the bar, something in the groove of the ordinary. The breath that gripped the ceiling tile, and I just stayed there for a second, stayed a while. God doesn't need you to name the thing before we can be present in it. Not a breakthrough, not a vision of the other side, just a specific feeling. I'm not carrying it alone inside. Like someone sat down next to the unnamed heavy thing and didn't ask what it was called, didn't need the labeling. Romans 8:26, the Spirit already in the wordless, already interceding for the prayer that can't find surface. Not come back when you know what you're asking for. Already there, already working, already in the unnamed more than I could reach by naming it. The thing without a category, He was in it. The weight without a word, He was already holding it. I didn't have to explain it first, He didn't need to know the name. He just showed up in the middle of the something without a frame. I wanna say this plainly, I spent so much energy trying to diagnose the thing I'm carrying, so I can present it correctly, so I can pray about it with the right language, so I can ask for the right kind of help. I've been waiting to bring it to God until I could explain it. He's been waiting for me to just bring it. And Romans 8:26 dismantled that entirely. Wordless groans, not clear requests, properly formatted, wordless. The Spirit intercedes thing for the thing that doesn't have a sentence yet, which means the unnamed thing. The passenger seat weight, the between the ribs heaviness, the something harder to define. All of it is already covered by an intercession I didn't have to construct. God doesn't need my diagnosis, He needs me to stop holding it alone. Just bring the unnamed thing, however it arrives, without the explanation. He already knows what it is. I'm carrying something that doesn't have a name, and I'm learning that the unnamed thing is held just the same. God receives what I can't say, the Spirit fills the gap. You don't have to name the thing to hand it to God, He receives the wordless ones. Romans said the Spirit intercedes through wordless roams, which means the thing I can't explain doesn't have to stay alone. Inside my chest, between the reps and the passenger seat. Again, I'm giving God the unnamed thing. He knows what I have meant. Not resolved, not labeled, but held, and that's enough. The thing without a name is still a thing He holds.